Screen is visible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So this will be the syllabus for your discrete mathematical structure, which is in first unit we have to see what are the combinatorics and matrices. In combinatorics we have to see what is permutation and combination, distinct and non-distinct objects, generating functions for the combinations, enumerators for permutations, and distribution of distinct object. Okay, this will be we have to see in combinatorics. And the second point in the first unity will be matrices. In second point we have to see what is the actual definition of matrix, and after that we have to see what are the types of matrices, arithmetic operations on matrices, scalar multiplication of two or more than two matrices, transpose of a matrix. Suppose in transpose of a matrix we have already one matrix given, that is if suppose A be a matrix, then we have to see what is the transpose of that matrix. Next point is symmetric matrix, inverse of a matrix, solving simultaneous equation using matrices. There are two types of equations, either homogeneous or non-homogeneous. We have to see these two types by taking examples. After that we have to see what are the Boolean matrices, eigenvalues of matrices, eigenvectors corresponding to eigenvalues, and what is the determinant of a matrix. Okay, so these points we have to see in first unit, that is combinatorics and matrices. Second unit will be mathematical logic. In mathematical logic we have to see what are the notations, connectives, normal forms, theory of inference for statement calculus, propositional logic, predicate calculus, and inference theory of the predicate calculus. This will be the second unit. That is in that we have to see what are the or, nor, gate, and true, false, what are. Okay. Now unit third is nothing but relations and functions. Okay. First we have to see what some elementary set theory. That is we have to see finite set, infinite set, interval. What is an interval? Okay. After that we have to see what is the product of two sets. Suppose A and B are any two sets, then what should be the product of these two sets A and B. And after that we have to define the relations on the product set. That is we have to define the relations on the Cartesian product of two sets, that is the product sets. Okay, now after that we have to see closure properties and related algorithm. Okay, now next point will be functions. After that we have to see what are the types of functions, computer representation of sets, relation functions and their manipulations, ordering functions and recurrence relation. That we have to see in the third unit. And fourth unit will be the graph theory and algebraic structures. In graph theory we have to see what should be the actual definition of graphs. After that we have to see what are the walks, paths, trails, connected graphs, diagram representation of relation, regular and bipartite graph, cycles and circuits in a graph, eccentricity of a vertex. And after that we have to see what is the radius and diameter of a graph, and we have to see the radius and diameter depending on the eccentricity of a vertex. After that we have to see what are the central graphs, Hamiltonian graphs, in the last chapter will be algebraic structures. In that we have to see what are the groups, lattices, applications of the residual arithmetic to computers, group codes, definition and examples of algebraic structures and their applications to computer science. And these are the reference books for our discrete mathematical structure paper. Okay, now we will start our syllabus from the fourth unit. Actually the fourth unit is independent on our previous three chapters, so we will start from the fourth unit. Okay. So our paper will be a discrete mathematical structure. Good. So we will start from the fourth unit, which is unit 4, which is nothing but graphs and algebraic structures. Okay, so here first we will see what are the graphs. In the chapter, we will see what is the use of graph in our life. First, let us define graphs. Okay, a graph consists of two sets. First one is the a non-empty set V, whose elements are called vertices, nodes or points of a graph G. Okay, and the set V of G is called vertex set of G. So actually graphs are nothing but they are formed by the collection of two sets. That is, first one is the non-empty set V, whose elements are called vertices, nodes or points of a graph G, and the set V of G is called a vertex set of G. Vertex set of G. That is, V of G is actually nothing but it will be the collection of some vertices. Okay, that is some points. And the second one is the set E, whose elements are called edges. And the set E of G is called edge set of a G. So actually graph is nothing but the collection of these two sets, that is the vertex set and edge set. The vertex set is always non-empty, that is vertex set contains at least one element and the edge set may be empty. Okay, so actually graph is nothing but it is collection of the two sets which are nothing but the vertex set and the edge set. Actually graphs are denoted by diagrams. Graphs are represented by and in the diagrammatic representation of graphs, the vertices are denoted by dots or small circles. Okay, dots or small circles, and the edges are denoted by lines or curves. Okay, so if we draw any graph, then the vertices of this graph are denoted by dots or small circles, and the edges of a graph are denoted by the lines or the curves. Let us see, for example, These are the four vertices, that is they are denoted by small dots v1, v2, v3 and v4. That is these are the four vertices. Okay, now this one is the vertex v2, vertex v1, vertex v4 and vertex v3. Okay, this will be the edge e1, edge e2, edge e3, edge e4 and edge e5. Okay, so this will be the graph G with vertex set V and edge set E. Okay, according to this one, in the diagrammatic representation of a graph, the vertices are denoted by the dots or small circles. As these are, there are four vertices, that is vertices v1, v2, v3 and v4, and the edges are denoted by straight, that is any lines or curves. As here there are total e1, e2, e3, e4, e5, five edges. Okay, therefore the vertex set of a graph G, V of G contains the vertices v1, v2, v3 and v4. Since it is a graph in which there are four vertices, and edge set of a graph G is nothing but edges e1, e2, e3, e4 and e5. That is there are five edges in a graph G. Now here edge e1 is incident on two vertices, that is e1 is a edge which joins the two vertices, that is v1 and v4. That is e1 is a edge which is incident on two vertices v1 and v4. Similarly, e2 is a edge which is incident on v1 and v2. 2 is a edge which is incident on v1 and v2. Similarly, e3 is again incident on v1 and v2. Okay, v1 and v2. Similarly, we can see for the v4 and v5, that is e4 is a edge which is incident on v2 and v3, and e5 is a edge which is incident on v3, v4. Okay, so this will be the graph G which contains four vertices and five edges. Vertex set of graph G is nothing but v1, v2, v3, v4, and edge set of a graph G is e1, e2, e3, e4 and e5, where edge e1 is incident on two vertices v1, v4, e2 is a edge which is incident on two vertices again v1, v2, and continuingly e5 is a edge which is incident on two vertices v3 and v4. Therefore, in this way we can draw a graph. Okay, now we have to see what should be the use of graph. If suppose there are four cities, that is this one is the, suppose here is our Solapur. Okay, okay, so these are the four cities. Okay, now we have to find out the distance between these cities. Let us suppose Solapur to Pune is distance something 200 and something 250 suppose, and Solapur to Kolhapur is something 420. This one is something and Pune to Mumbai is something 300, and Solapur to Mumbai will be 350. Okay. So here we have drawn one graph in which there are 4 cities, and we have taken the distance from the each city to another city. Okay. Now let us consider these cities as vertices. Suppose Solapur is nothing but the vertex V1, Kolhapur is nothing but something vertex V2, Mumbai is vertex V3, and Pune is vertex V4. Okay, so there are 4 vertices in this graph. That is, vertex set of this graph contains 4 vertices, that is V1, V2, V3, and V4. Okay, now here the edges of this graph are nothing but the distance between the 2 cities. That is, here edges are nothing but the difference between 2 cities. Two cities. That is, there are, I think, 5 edges in this graph. E1, this one is E2, E3, E4, and E5. Therefore, this will be the graph which contains 4 vertices and 5 edges, where vertices are nothing but the cities and edges in this graph are nothing but the distance between the 2 cities. Therefore, we can use the graphs to calculate the distance between the any 2 cities. Okay, any doubt?
No, sir.
डेफिनेशन पासून
No,
ते
sir.
आतापर्यंत याच्यामध्ये काही डाऊट असेल तर विचारू शकतो.
No, sir.
Okay, now we have to see the next point will be the what are the null graphs. Okay, we have to see what is a null graph, that is trivial graph. If the edges are absent in a graph, edges are absent in a graph, then the graph is called null graph or trivial graph. That is, a graph G is a graph, it is empty if its edge set E is empty. Okay, that is, edge set E is equal to 5. That is, there is no element in a edge set of a graph G, then the corresponding graph is called as a null graph. That is, the graph which contains only the vertices, that is, there is no edge in a graph G, then the graph is called as a null graph or a trivial graph. That is, let us see example. First one, this will be the vertex V1, V2, and somewhere is V3. Okay, this one is, and second example will be this one is V1, V2, and V3. Now we have to see which graph is a null graph. That according to definition of null graph, any graph is said to be a null graph if its edge set is empty and it contains any number of vertices. Okay, now here the graph G1, this will be the graph G1 and this will be the graph G2. Now we have to see whether G1 is a null graph or not. Here in graph G1 there are three vertices, that is vertex set of G1 contains three vertices, that is V1, V2 and V3, and edge set of graph G1 will be equal to, as there is no edge in a graph G1, therefore edge set of graph G1 will be equal to 5. Since there is no edge incident on the any vertex, any among these three vertices, therefore here there is no edge in the graph G1, therefore edge set of graph G1 will be equal to 5. So according to definition of null graph or trivial graph, this graph will be a trivial graph since its edge set is empty, which implies G1 is a null graph. Now we have to see for G2. Okay. In graph G2, vertex set of graph G2 is equal to V1, V2 and V3. And here there is one edge E1. Okay. And edge set of G2 contains one edge E1. Now here there is one edge E1 in a graph G2, and by the definition of null graph, as there is a edge in graph G2, therefore this one is a not a null graph since there is a edge in a graph G2, which implies G2 is null, not a null graph, since its edge set is not empty, that is this is not equal to 5. Okay. Now the next point will be what is a loop or self loop. Okay. Now an edge E of a graph G is said to be loop or self loop if its n vertices are same. N vertices are same. That is, any edge E of a graph G is said to be a loop if its end vertices are same. That is, it travels from the same vertex to itself. Okay, that is, if suppose there is one graph vertex V1. Okay. And here is, that is, this will be edge E1, edge E2, edge E3 and edge E4. Now we have to see among these four edges E1, E2, E3 and E4, which one will be the edge of a graph G. That is, this will be the graph G whose vertex set is V and edge set is E. So in this graph G, we have to see which edge is a loop of the graph G. Okay, as here edge E1 is an edge which is incident on two vertices V1 and V2. Therefore, according to definition of loop, this one is the not a loop. Similarly, E2 and E3 are the edges which are incident on two vertices, that is V1, V3 and V3, V2. Therefore, E2 and E3 are again not the loops. But there is one edge E4 which is incident on a vertex V2 to V2 itself. Therefore, edge E4 is a loop. So here E4 is a loop. Since its end vertices are same, since it goes from V2 to V2 only, therefore edge E4 is a loop and E1, E2 and E3 are not loops. Okay. Now, next definition will be adjacent edges. Called adjacent edges. So any two edges E1 and E2 of a graph G are said to be adjacent edges if they are incident on a same vertex. That is, if suppose there will be a graph G, here is vertex V1, vertex V2, here is vertex V3, and here vertex V4. Okay. So this will be the graph G. Okay. Edge E1, E2, E3 and E4. Okay, now we have to see which are of those are the adjacent edges. As here edge E1 and E2 are incident on a same vertex V1. Since edge E1 and E2 are incident on a same vertex V1, which implies E1 and E2 are adjacent edges. Okay. Are incident on vertex V1, which implies E1 and E2 are adjacent edges. Okay. Similarly, E2 and E3 are incident on the vertex V2. Therefore, E2 and E3 are again adjacent edges. Similarly, E1, E4 are incident on V4. Therefore, E1 and E4 are again adjacent edges. But edge E1 and E3 are not adjacent edges since they are not incident on the same vertex of the given graph G. Here, E1 and E3 are the two edges which are incident on two different vertices. Therefore, E1 and E3 are not adjacent edges. Okay. Now, the next definition will be adjacent vertices. Two vertices are said to be adjacent if there is a line joining between these two vertices. So any two vertices V1 and V2 of a graph G are said to be adjacent if there is a line joining between these two vertices. Let us see its example. So this will be the graph G with vertex set V and edge set E, whose vertices are V1, V2, E3 and edges are E1 and E2. Now we have to see which of these vertices are the adjacent vertices, and according to definition of adjacent vertices, any two vertices are said to be adjacent if there is a line joining and V3 are adjacent. Similarly, V2 and V3 are also adjacent. V2 and V3 are also adjacent. Okay, since there is a line joining between the vertex V2 and V3, that is edge E2. But vertex V1 and V2 are not adjacent vertices. Adjacent vertices, since there is no line joining between vertex V2 and V1, or vertex V1 and V2. Therefore, in this given graph G, vertex V1, V3 and vertex V2, V3 are adjacent vertices, but vertex V1 and V2 are not adjacent. Okay, any doubt?
Sir, your voice and video is breaking.
Okay. येते का आवाज?
Yes, sir.
How, sir?
ओके. कुणाला काही डाऊट असतील तर सांगा मागच्या कन्सेप्ट. नाही येत का?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, the next concept will be simple graph. Simple graph. Now, let us see its definition. A graph without any loop and parallel edges is called a simple graph. Before going to the definition of simple graph, let us see what are the parallel edges. Two are said to be parallel if they join vertices. Okay, see its example. Suppose this one is the vertex V1, vertex V2, and vertex V3. This one will be edge E1, edge E2, and here is edge E3. Okay, now we have to see what are the parallel edges. And according to definition, any two edges are said to be parallel if they should join the same pair of vertices. As here, edge E1 and E2 join the same pair of vertices. That is, edge E1 is incident on two vertices V1 and V2. Similarly, E2 is also a edge which is incident on the vertices V1 and V2. Then these two edges E1 and E2 are said to be the parallel edges. But edge E1 and E3 are not parallel edges, since edge E1 is incident on vertex V1 and V2 and edge E3 is incident on V2 V3. Then by the definition of parallel edges, E1 and E3 are not parallel edges, since they can't join the same pair of vertices. But edge E1 and E2 joins the same pair of vertices, therefore E1 E2 must be the parallel edges. Now we have to see what is the simple graph. A graph without any loop and parallel edges is called a simple graph. That is, this graph contains there is no loop and no parallel edges. For example, E3 and E4. This will be the graph G1. This will be the graph G2. So these are the three graphs. Now we have to see among these three graphs which one will be the simple graph. Now first one graph, that is graph G1. So graph G1, now we have to see whether this graph G1 is a simple graph. And any graph G is said to be a simple graph if it is without any loop and parallel edges. That is, the graph which contains no loop and no parallel edge, then the graph is said to be a simple graph. Now whether this one will be a simple graph, whether graph G1 is a simple graph. ऐकू येते ना?
No.
हो सर. G2 is a simple graph, sir.
No, sir.
G2 चं परत बघू. What about G1? Whether graph G1 will be a simple graph?
No, sir.
No,
Why?
Because sir, parallel
there
edges
is a
are
parallel edge.
in G1.
Which are
V1,
those?
V3 is parallel.
V1, E1, E3 or
E2 or
which
E3
edges are
edges.
parallel? Edge E2
E2 or
and edge E3 are incident on the same pair of vertices, that is vertex V1 and V3. Therefore, E2 and E3 are parallel edges, and the graph is said to be a simple graph only if it contains no loop and no parallel edges. As there are parallel edges in a graph G1, therefore graph G1 is not a parallel. Okay, not parallel. Sorry, not simple. Now, what about G2?
Simple graph.
As there is no loop and no parallel edges in a graph G2, then it must be a simple graph. What about G3?
No, sir.
Not
As
a
there is
simple
a loop, that is edge E3 is a loop, therefore G3 is again not a simple graph. Okay, now the next definition will be multigraph. A graph is said to be a multigraph if it contains the parallel edges but there is no loop. So any graph G will be a multigraph if it contains the parallel edges but there is no loop in a graph G, then the corresponding graph is said to be a multigraph. For example, this will be the graph G. So these are the two graphs G and H. Now, whether this graph G is a multigraph. By the definition of graph, a multigraph, any graph is said to be a multigraph if it contains the parallel edges but there is no loop. So according to this definition, in graph G, there are two parallel edges, that is E1 and E2 are the parallel edges, but there is no loop in a graph G, therefore graph G is a multigraph. Okay. Now, we have to see whether the graph H is a multigraph. As there is a loop at vertex V1, so this H is not a multigraph. Okay. Now, the next one will be what is a pseudograph? A graph which contains both loop and parallel edges is called a pseudograph. Okay, that is any graph G which contains both loop and parallel edges is called a pseudograph. For example, this one will be the graph V1, V2, V3 and V4. This will be G, E1, E2, E3 and E4, and next one will be this will be the graph sum. Yes. Okay. Now, any graph is said to be a pseudograph if it contains both loop and parallel edges. Now, in graph G, there is no loop and no parallel edge. Therefore, this graph will be a simple graph. That is, this one is not a pseudograph. So, therefore, graph G is not pseudograph. Okay. But in graph yes, there is a parallel edge E2 and E3. Two edges E2 and E3 are parallel edges, and there are also the loops. That is, edge E7 and edge E5 are the loops. Therefore, this graph yes contains both loop and parallel edges. Therefore, yes must be a pseudograph. Okay. Now, there is one important note. Crossing point or point of intersection will not be considered as a vertex. That is, if there is any crossing point or point of intersection, then that point cannot be considered as a vertex. That is, for example, if suppose there is a graph V1, V2, V3, V4, and these are the edges of this graph. So, in this graph, these are the only four, E5 and E6. Okay, now this will be the graph G whose vertex set V and edge set E, where V is nothing but V1, V2, V3 and V4, and edge set contains E1, E2, E3, E4, E5 and E6. So according to this node, the crossing point or point of intersection will not be considered as a vertex. That is this point here. Here there is a point of intersection. Therefore, we can't take this point as a vertex, a point of intersection. That is, this will be not a vertex. Okay. Now, any doubt?
No, sir.
काही डाऊट असतील तर विचारा क्वेश्चन.